Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Week 10 edition of the Maddog and Pino NFL Review. I thought I'd beta test that one, man. I don't know.
Yeah, all right.
Because it's more, we're reviewing and it's kind of like a review with the entertainment.
Yeah, give us some feedback.
Exactly.
Put it in the mailbag. I know Pup will have some feedback for us.
Exactly.
He'll be like, you should stick with. Hey, Pup, you're on next week, by the way.
Exactly. We will have
You're going to be sitting right in the middle of us.
We will have a guest next week. Last podcast, I kind of opened with like the NFL is just the best, man. There's like so many great games this week, and you couldn't script any of that. Like there's just so many interesting stories, blah blah blah. And so this week it actually outdid last week. Like I literally have no opening remarks. I just want to get into the games. There were 6 games decided by a game-winning field goal. There were 5 others that were
6 walk-offs.
6 walk-offs. 5 others that were a one-score game. On top of that, and we're going to get into all of this, we got to see another Jameis party, which was awesome.
Yeah.
The Steelers continued to win in an improbable fashion.
Without moving the ball. Like
exactly.
They make 2 plays a game.
Exactly.
Pickett makes 2 plays a game. He reminds me of Danny Dimes. I had to know about
that. Josh Dobbs continues to like baffle me and amaze.
Best story of the year.
49ers, when healthy, continue to dominate. And then there's a lot of trouble in New York, starting with your Giants.
Oh, Maddog. It's a Giants house. The Giants suck. I'm going over to my friend. His dad's not cheap. I'm going to go watch the Chargers.
But it's bleeding throughout the Northeast. So now it's, the Jets are definitely in trouble.
So the deal is this, man. Like, we're talking New York, right?
Yeah.
And neither team has a quarterback.
Yeah, and it's
like
just,
they can't score.
It's just we'll get into it in the games, but it's so ugly to watch them. And then it's bled into Buffalo. Buffalo is part of New York.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're in trouble. And then if you want to really expand it, it's bled into Massachusetts because New England is like a disaster. It's like a fucking dumpster fire. So that's interesting. And then CJ Stroud continues to just do things that a rookie quarterback has never done.
I think he's if the season ended right now, he'd be the MVP.
He'd be close. I mean, he'd be in the conversation. He should be in the conversation for sure.
I like that in the conversation.
And then Kyle Murray's back. So there is so much to talk about in the games that I don't even have any opening remarks before we get to them. But I thought I'd ask you if you have something you want to say before we get into the games.
Yeah, I got a couple overarching kind of things.
Yeah.
So this week seemed to be way more prominent about on schedule, off schedule, schedule.
Right.
And I forget what game I was watching, but I just sat there and I was like, this new schedule is totally confusing. Mr. Spicoli, I think you know where the front office is, don't you? And when Mr. Han rips up his schedule card,
yes.
He's like, "Hey, you're ripping my card, you dick!
You dick!"
So the scheduling that's kind of that came out of nowhere this year.
I actually got a comment. Well, it's probably not entirely related to your comment, but it's a tangent. But the schedule makers are like, all right, we're going to put the Jets in prime time every game this season. And then Aaron Rodgers tears his fucking Achilles. And we have to watch that fucking shit. The nation has to watch that shit on national television.
And they're wasting
every fucking week.
They're wasting actually a good team with him at quarterback.
I know.
They should have, Josh Dobbs could have been their quarterback.
We can get into it in the games, but it ain't all his fault, man. There's so much mess going on in that offense.
No, I hear you. I got a couple others. So I wasn't going to mention Herb Street because he's a college guy, but then I forgot he does the Thursday night games now.
Yeah.
He really needs to be a fucking ophthalmologist because all he focuses on, look at the eyes, follow the eyes. Hey, you trusted his eyes. Everything's with the fucking eyes with this guy. There's no way he could see their eye. He's up in
certainly not from the booth.
Yeah, for sure.
Come on.
Another opening type comment I had. So here's an issue I have. And if you watch a lot of cable news, you see this all day because they have those minute and a half, drug commercials.
Yeah.
So, but during an NFL game, there's this Jardiance.
Yes.
It's like I don't want to body shamer.
I know. I know exactly.
The overweight lady.
I know exactly where we're going with
and
this.
And it's and then they end the commercial with Jardiance, it's really swell. Such a little pill with a big
Sorry
story
to
to tell.
tell.
And she's fucking like dancing like
They,
what
that,
the what who
that, that's
what
a
market watching NFL games is interested in that commercial?
that's a theme with these commercials, man. The colon guard one, and you see that one. They turned that one into My
Oh, is
Way.
that what it? No, I haven't seen that one.
They literally saying, try to turn it into Frank Sinatra's My Way, and he's rolling over his grave over that
Jesus
one.
Christ! But the Jardiance is just bad with that.
Exactly, I agree.
Not body shaming. She's a beautiful lady.
I agree.
I don't think she's a great dancer, standing on the fountain. And then the other thing I had is so Monday Night Football, right? Sunday Night Football, you get the like waiting all day for Sunday night. That's your one song, right?
Mm-hmm.
Monday night before Joe and Troy come on,
Yeah,
you get the Lionel Richie. Let the music play on all night long.
Yeah.
Be on you like Lionel Richie all night long, and then you think you're done with the songs.
Yeah.
And then Joe Buck and Troy go through their spiel about what's coming up in the game, and then you get Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, it doesn't morph into Phil Collins at one point. I mean,
oh yeah, Phil Collins is on
exactly,
which is about. I dig that drum.
No, I do too,
right?
but like I don't know how it fit into All Night Long, really. But,
right, but like, is anyone tuning in for the music before these games?
I don't know, man. I don't. I'm not.
No, I mean, I think it's safe to say no.
Yeah, God knows how much they spent to get that.
Right, because even if they were, they're shutting it off after Snoop Dogg's over. Right. And was that all I had relative to? Oh, the one other thing we'll get into the games, but it seems like the older the coaches, and I'll go with Peyton and Mike McCarthy, the bigger the play sheet is.
There's probably
and I said it a couple of weeks ago. It's kind of like they're using like oak tag, like I used in 8th grade to like detail photosynthesis.
There's probably a good correlation there.
The young coaches, they basically have a fucking index card.
Exactly.
Like I was able to read McCarthy's play sheet on TV or Sean Payton's play sheet last night on TV.
Oh,
but man. I do know that.
Who are you, Jim Harbaugh?
I know. Yeah. But I do know that Jardiance is really swell. It's a little pill with a big story to tell. Get the fuck out of here during an NFL game. Are you fucking kidding me? It'd be better if they had that Bud Light tranny girl on.
Oh God!
Instead of the Jardiance.
All right, come on.
So I think that's all I have for opening comments.
All right. All right, so I asked you before this, like, where do you want to put the Giants game? Because it doesn't naturally fit anywhere. So it reminded me of a game that I used to play when we were, kids. And it's actually a poker game, but you would just, like, deal out the cards, and then someone would say, shoot, or something. You'd throw the card in the middle, and that would be the wild card. So I'm going to keep going until you tell me to put the Giants game in.
No, I think we should start with the Giant game.
You know what? Go for it, because as long as it ain't going to take too long.
No, it's not.
We got a lot to talk about.
No, it's not. I'll be concise.
All right, so for our listeners, the Giants.
So as many games as you talked about were great games, close games, walk-off games.
Yeah,
this was not one of them.
This was not one of them. The Giants 17 at the Cowboys 49. Again, this is the part of the podcast where I can just sit back and listen.
All right, so you see, I have my Giant. This is my Tank for Caleb. Giant shirt.
Yes,
I'm going to wear for the rest of the year. I better not win another game. And I wonder, are there guys in at the Giants store at MetLife Stadium taking the 13 jerseys off the rack and peeling off the Beckham Jr. and putting Williams back there? Because they have apparently, according to like whatever analytics, by a percentage point, they're in line for the number one pick.
Yeah, the Bears might have something to say about that.
Well, because they have Carolina's pick.
Exactly, that's my point.
But anyhow, okay, so the Giants, as Barkley said this years ago, like someone asked about the team, and he's like, bad team, man, bad fucking team. They are a fucking embarrassment. Dable is beginning to feel like Joe Judge.
Yeah,
they're not going to fire him because they cannot change coaches they can't fire coaches every 2 years.
You said that before, and I disagreed. I think the first time you said it, and I gotta tend to agree. I don't know if he's lost control of the team, but listen, they're starting Tommy DeVito at quarterback.
Right, so he should be at Jersey Mike's with his old man.
Exactly.
Danny.
You're not going to
working on a fucking slicer.
Exactly. You're not going to win any games with Tommy DeVito, but you would think they would maybe be competitive at some point. They're certainly not competitive against the Cowboys.
So here's the deal with them. Watching them and Sunday as well. I think Wink Martindale is going to go back to hosting a fucking game show. And there's a reason why Baltimore apparently let him go after, what was it, like 3-4 years as their defensive coordinator. So the offense is a shambles, right? They don't have a quarterback. The offensive line, they've started a different fucking combination every game, and even different combinations within games.
Yeah.
Right. But the defense, there's no real injuries to speak of.
Right. And it's not.
And they can't fucking stop anybody.
Yeah.
They don't tackle. They don't cover.
Yeah.
They're embarrassing. It's almost like that. So I think Dable will stay. Wink Martindale's gone. But just from the fucking, this is as bad as it's ever been. This is like 1976 flying the planes over Giant Stadium. 15 years of lousy football. We've had enough.
Listen, I feel for you. And again, the Cowboys had your number before. They won 13 out of 15 or something like that. But they certainly have your number now. They've outscored you by 72 points in 2 games this year.
Right. At the beginning of the third quarter.
Yeah.
Right. So that means there were 6 quarters the Giants played Dallas this year.
Yeah.
Shout out to Neb D and Bomber. They outscored them 68-0. Dallas had. Are you ready for it? So I wanted to be mad. Like I don't want to. I don't want to come in light on the analysis.
I got you.
641 yards of offense.
I have that. I have that written down.
So if the Bills fire their offensive coordinator off of last night, I'm surprised Wink Martindale still has a job.
Yeah.
What else did I get? And by the way, the Giants, Dable, his body language is so 180 degrees from last year.
Yeah,
they show him on the sidelines. It looks like I have no fucking answers. Like it's just bad body language. He's not throwing tablets anymore or yelling at anybody. All right. So at one point, DeVito had 8 completions for 37 yards.
I got one for you. I mean, I don't mean I don't mean to rub it in, but like the Giants had 61 yards passing. Cooper Rush, who came in to do mop-up duty, had 68 yards passing.
In the first half, they had 1 first down, 27 total yards, and they trailed 28-0. Barkley had 7 carries for 1 yard the first half. Like they're going to kill him.
Yeah.
And after they franchise tagged him.
Yeah. Well, at least it was only a franchise tag.
Right. So, but do you hear, like, I got some fire in I got some energy because they better not win another fucking game.
Yeah. I think they're pretty.
If they go
they're setting up pretty good for that. Tyrod Taylor's going to come back and we'll try to will them to win.
He'll fuck us.
He will.
Like it'll be like we'll get the second pick and then Drake May will suck. Exactly. Although maybe it'll be like last year, like, hey.
You know what? I was going to go into that. I will go into that at some point because there's a really interesting first, second pick thing.
They're an embarrassment. They're an absolute fucking embarrassment.
Yeah. All right.
But the good news is they're so bad I don't give a shit. Like last week I was like, oh, fucking season's over.
Yeah.
Like every year I piss the summer away, waiting for the fall, getting all fired up, and I expected them to be decent. They suck.
Yeah, you know what? I like I said,
and if they didn't fire coaches every 2 years, I would say Dable, you'd have to question. I mean, how does it go off the rails this bad?
Well, again, I mean, there's injuries, but that's not an excuse. Yeah, I don't know.
And then
the real answer is I don't know.
And then it's like, what was the final? 49-17 in that game?
49-17, yeah.
Right, and then so it was 49-10. And they go into their 2-minute offense, and he's calling timeouts and throwing the ball to score something.
So it's a teaching.
Oh yeah, it's
teaching moment.
Like training camp, I guess, right? So they're horrible. It's over for Dimes in New York.
Yeah,
they're gonna get the first or second pick, and it's either gonna be Caleb Williams or Drake May, I guess.
All right,
based on everything.
Can we move on? Can we move on to the rest of the NFL because it was actually a great weekend. All right, so like we said, there was 6 one-score games.
Oh, I had one more thing.
Oh Jesus!
Like their punter, Gillian, like the Scottish guy, the left-footed guy, his leg's gonna fucking fall off before the season's over.
Yeah, he is fun. Yeah. He will set a record. He definitely will set a record if he stays healthy.
And that's all I have to say on them.
All right, so let's go back to the top of what I was saying. Like it was a great weekend in the NFL, Giants and Cowboys aside. And I'm calling this a Super Six. So there was 6 game winning.
I was wondering if we were going to go back to the boxing.
It was the 6 game-winning field goals on not like walk-off field goals, which is nuts. Never happened in the NFL before. 5 never happened. So that was like their 5 was a record, and then we went into Monday night and we got another one. So just crazy, and some of these games were just like nuts. So let's go to. This is in really no particular order, but I'm just going to do it anyway.
Okay.
So one of the most exciting and weird and crazy games of the weekend was both 2 games, both of which involved AFC North teams. So
That's the Norris division, right?
exactly.
Oh, and now that we're on YouTube, we could go like
Yeah, we can make some.
So what do you think? We could go like Boomer, like
he stuck his foot in the ground.
Let's slow it down. Let's slow it down.
All right, so the Texans 30 at the Bengals 27.
Fucking cost us.
I know
$30,000.
So we did pick Cincinnati or Survivor Pool, but all right. So the amazing thing about this game was the Texans were crushing it. They were like up 20-7. They were up 27-17 in the fourth quarter. C.J. Stroud was playing out of his head, and then he threw this like amazing, stupidly amazing, whatever interception.
Or for the layman, can we just say dumb?
Exactly.
Like instead of saying pieces, players.
Exactly.
Amazingly stupid.
Just say dumb. Just dumb interception. And it brought the Bengals back in the game. They came all the way back. In the process, Joe Cool kind of lost his cool. He threw like a stupid pick himself. By the way, he was running for his life all game, so I don't know what's going on with the offensive line there. But and anyway, so the Bengals came all the way back, tied it at 27-27, and that was after Stroud's interception. And apparently Stroud walked over to D'Amico Ryans and said, "I got you. Don't worry. Put the ball back in my hands." And they got the ball back with 1:33 left after the game was tied. After all that, like crazy.
They had no timeout.
No, I think they had timeouts this
Okay.
time. Anyway, they drove the ball down the field and a game-winning field goal to win the game. The Texans are for real. We haven't talked about this enough. They outgained Cincinnati 544-380. They had 4 sacks of Burrow. The only thing that held them back, the only mark on CJ's record that day was he threw an interception and he fumbled twice. So he had 3 turnovers personally, which kind of kept them in the game. But otherwise, like the Texans crushed the Steelers. They somehow fucking lost to Carolina a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that's weird.
But
that might have been a trap game for them.
Exactly.
That's how good they think they are.
But anyway, they right, the playoffs ended now. I think they're in the playoffs.
Probably.
It's crazy.
And so here's other than that pick in the fourth quarter, right? That was the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
The weird thing about that game, on his pick, I thought it was a pick 6.
Yeah.
Right, you're like watching it, right? And then who's the guy who dropped the touchdown pass?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have covered that. Tyler Boyd. Yeah.
Tyler Boyd.
Yeah.
And so, but before that throw into the end zone,
yeah,
when Burrow hit Tyler Boyd and he got outside,
yeah,
you never see a guy get like I thought. That's a touchdown.
Yeah,
and he got tackled and then he dropped the touchdown pass.
Yeah,
but watching C.J. Stroud, dude, it doesn't seem like he makes a bad decision.
Again, like the knock on this guy was he wasn't smart enough.
Right.
Like
because he failed it's not the Wonderlic anymore.
And he wasn't processing enough information.
It must have been like that racist SAT.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right?
Seriously.
There is bias built into this test.
I mean, what's coming out now is, like there's always a bunch of shade thrown on. Like there's a bunch of misinformation coming into the draft. So C.J. Stroud's agent probably had a lot to do with that. I don't know that for a fact, but I suspect there was something like that going on.
No, he's good, and I'm telling you, like we said it earlier. If he's in the conversation for the MVP, and if he keeps playing the way he does,
I agree.
They win a playoff game, he's certainly offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah,
if not rookie of the year, right? Maybe MVP.
Yeah, I think he's got that wrapped up.
And who's the coach? DeMarco Ryans?
Yeah. He's got them believing and playing, and look out, man. I'm telling you, I wouldn't want to play the Texans. We already played them, but I wouldn't want to play them.
You know what's interesting about talking about the rookie quarterbacks? Like if you watch like NFL, NFL Live on ESPN or whatever, any other show, they talk about the rookie quarterbacks. They're like, oh, hey, everyone's fucking jumping off the bandwagon on Bryce Young. But then they always like, hey, C.J. Stroud playing well, and Richardson in Atlanta.
Yeah,
He's going to be a player. And I'm like, he hasn't played in fucking 6 weeks.
yeah, yeah. Well, we covered that a long time
Yeah.
ago.
So
But
anyhow,
all right, so again, staying in the AFC North, this game was even crazier. The Browns 33 at the Ravens 31, and literally both teams did everything they could possibly do
to give the other team a game.
to lose this game. I mean, like they literally tried to lose the game, including in the first half. I think Watson had like 14 yards passing or something like that.
I guarantee Stefanski had somebody roll into that locker room at halftime with a massage table for the quarterback.
Yeah, I guarantee you're right.
He was a fucking different guy in that second half.
He certainly was a different guy in the second half.
Long duck dong. No more Yankee my wanky. Donger needs food.
He threw a pick six on like the second play, and before you knew it was 14-0 Baltimore, and you're like, this is over, man. And then flash forward to the fourth quarter, it was 31-17. And then LJ turned into fucking like a rookie quarterback. He threw a stupid pick six. And then on that pick six, they missed the extra point. So you're like, okay, the game's over. Ravens
dodge the bullet.
Ravens going to win. And then to your point about the massage table, Deshaun Watson like played like a I don't know, a $230 million guaranteed quarterback, but he played like a real quarterback, drove him down the field, and they won in a game-winning field goal, man.
He played like, oh, be so horny, Joe. Oh, G.I. Joe, G.I. Deshaun. You go out fourth quarter, win game.
So the Browns are now 6-3. The Ravens are 7-3. The AFC North are just going to beat the shit out of each other in the next couple of weeks. Thursday night is the Bengals and the Ravens. Who knows what happens in that game? But the Bengals actually, like that was a game they had to win.
They're kind of reeling. I think.
Yeah, they were. I mean, they had rattled 4 straight wins, and Burrow was back to being Burrow, and then they laid an egg. So they are in real trouble in terms of tiebreakers and all of that. So.
Right.
So anyway, all right.
But the weird thing is Cleveland, like Watson, like he had an MRI on Monday.
He did?
Yeah, because on the scramble, which was a great play, the scramble he made
on his neck from the massage or something?
I think on his joint. I think on his groin. I think that's what they're now calling massages, MRIs. No, no, he, that scramble play that he had, like on the last drive?
Yeah.
Which was a great play.
He did. He did make it.
But he got up slow and almost had to call timeout. And so it's something with the ankle.
Yeah, I didn't realize that he had.
Yeah, so who knows if he's playing Sunday? But they've done fine without him. They're 6-3.
They're playing the Steelers Sunday, so maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. All right, let's just cover this one quickly, but because it's not a dome stadium, so maybe or is it a dome stadium? I don't even know actually off the top of my head. All right, Falcons 23 at the Cardinals 25. Kyle Murray is back.
Yes, he is.
He didn't have like a spectacular game, but until like the last.
But he won the game.
Yeah, until like the last drive, he like had like he must have ran like 40 yards to gain like 8 to put him in like position to like kick the game-winning field goal. And again, as time expired, they won 25-23. So I wouldn't want to play Arizona, and we have to play Arizona, but
they better keep winning.
Yeah, I think they might. I mean, that coach is like, he's not tanking.
Well, you think about it, like they had Dobbs. He kept them competitive. They traded him. Then Murray comes back off a torn ACL. They win the game. And Arthur, who's the owner? Artie Rankin?
Arthur Blank? Is that what
Arthur Blank? Yeah. Artie Blank?
Artie Blank.
And Artie Smith is the head coach?
Yes.
And, so we know they're the Arthurs.
Yes.
And, fucking Liza Minnelli watching that heartbreaking loss. It was like, I wish my mom, Judy Garland, was still alive and could fucking whip me with whatever she used to beat me with.
So just to hit it, the Falcons, I think a lot of people, I don't think we ever got on that bandwagon, but a lot of people thought the Falcons had a real shot because that division sucks and like they play a unique brand of football, blah, blah, blah. But they're in real trouble right now. I think they lost 3 out of the last 4.
Right, who quarterbacks for them now?
So that's what happened. Tyler Heineke got hurt, and he gave him a boost when he came back.
With that crazy headband he wears, running around, pumping everybody up.
And then Desmond Ridder came in, and he actually did, I think, run for a touchdown. But the Falcons had 70 yards of total passing in this game. So
But they don't seem to use Dijon Robinson.
they did. They
Oh, did
finally
they?
they finally did this game. Like he had 120. He was their offense this game, but anyway, I think the Falcons are in trouble, and I wouldn't want to play Arizona right now.
Yeah, and it looks bleak for them because at the beginning of the year, Artie Smith, the head coach, like
Yeah,
his stash looked good.
yeah. Now it's
Now it just I don't even know what the fuck's going on.
All right. So from one
So was that a walk off?
that
Was
was
that one of the walk offs?
that was one of the
Okay.
walk-offs. All right. So to another walk-off, Lions 41 at the Chargers 38.
All right. Could I just back up 1 second
Yeah.
before we get to that game?
Yeah.
Like kickers and walk offs.
Yeah.
Like the Giants are like they're so fucking bad. It's literally like a college team. Their kicker because Gano is hurt.
Yeah.
He wears number 46. He's like fat. Like you know how you watch a lot of college
Yeah,
games and
yeah.
here runs
Here
out
comes, here goes,
90
here
here
goes
goes 97 out to
Right.
make the extra point. And he's fucking like, did they make this guy run? That's what the Giants kicker looks like. That's how bad it's gotten. So anyhow, keep going.
All right, so the Lions 49, the Chargers 38. And going into the game, the week, I'm like, all right, this game's just going to be a shootout. And every time I say that, it turns out not to be true, actually.
You were right on that one.
But this one did not disappoint. And you just got the feeling that whoever had the ball last was going to win. And Dan Campbell certainly had that feeling because it was a tie game. They got to like the 30-yard line maybe, and so they could have kicked a field goal, but there was still like a minute 30 left, and it was 4th and 1. And
He said, "Fuck it,"
and he went for it. I'm like, holy shit, that's a gutsy call, man. And it worked out. They ran the clock out and kicked a game-winning field goal.
I'm all in on Detroit because I know Kid Rock is probably too.
Yeah, oh yeah,
right. And Dan Campbell's the bomb, and I didn't like Jared Goff when he was with the Rams.
I know
because I'm a contrarian, but he's slinging it,
dude. We have tried to pay him his due on this podcast, and again, he threw for 337. He had 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. They had Montgomery back. Their offense was, they're what you would expect, and then on the flip side, the Chargers offense again shootout. Chargers offense matched them like Keenan Allen had.
It was a touchdown.
Exactly. Keenan Allen had 175 yards. Herbert did Herbert-like things, but like you're Brandon Staley and you're a defensive guru, and your team cannot stop anybody. Like, what the fuck
is he going to get fired?
He has to.
Yeah, don't you think?
Like they're weak.
I mean, they got Herbert out there with the middle finger's broken still, and it's all taped up, and he's still scoring 35 points. And they spent a shitload of money on that defense.
I know. So it's maybe they spent it in not appropriately or whatever, but like you would think that they would scheme up something with the defensive guru,
like to stop a screen pass.
I'm just telling you, like so we've given him so much shit about like going forward and analytics and bullshit, but like the bigger problem is he can't coach a defense to like to get one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL in a position to win after like 3 seasons.
They're wasting Herbert. Like time flies when you're having fun or you're losing, right?
Exactly. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think he's probably done this. If they don't make the playoffs, they're going to fire him. Don't you think?
They have to. I mean, honestly, if they
don't hire Harbaugh,
it's irresponsible. Yeah, maybe they do. I mean, I don't know. But the point, yeah, you already made the point. They are wasting his window that is already opened.
Right, and don't you think? And the Bosa brothers, they always seem to be hurt. During games.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, even though
I think
legendary workouts and all that kind of shit. But
right.
they always seem to be like they got to come off the field. They sit out plays, miss games. I don't know.
All right, so that was game-winning field goal walk-off number 4.
2. Oh, that was 4.
That was number 4.
I thought we've only talked about 2 games.
We're in like 5 games in now.
Okay.
Game-winning field goal walk-off number 5 was the Commanders 26 at the Seahawks 28, I guess. Maybe it's 29. Doesn't matter.
It does if you're getting 2 or getting 1 or getting a half a point in there.
I guess that's true.
You should know. Like I can't believe that came out of your mouth.
For 1 week, the Seahawks got 2022 Geno. He actually lit it up. But it kind of wasn't enough. And like like I keep track of Sam Howell because he was picked 124 picks after Kenny Pickett, and this guy looks like the real deal. So like,
Does he? Because I haven't watched him.
dude, he totally does. So they got the ball back and they were down. They were down by. I'm trying to do the math in my head. They were down by 3 or 4.
Come on, dude.
You're
a numbers guy.
They were down by something.
Isn't that what our consultant said? You're the numbers guy.
And Sam Howell, like, literally had a 10-play drive, got him to TD, which not should have, but could have won them the game.
After they traded their 2B best defensive lineman
Exactly.
a week ago, right?
Exactly.
Or 2 weeks ago.
Exactly. So that's going to be an interesting organization to watch in the offseason. Like, what do they do? They're not going to be – Sam Howell better be the guy because they're not going to be in a position to get someone else.
Well, they're going to win this coming Sunday. They're like 12-point favorites against G-Man, Big Blue.
Oh, shit. We could have used Washington as a survivor pick.
They better fucking win that game.
Anyway, I think he looks apart, and like he couldn't do anything about Gino driving him down the field to win the game. But anyway, all right. So,
and do you think Riverboat Ron? Like, are they going to just jettison?
I don't know.
Is that the word?
Jettison? I don't. That's why I'm saying it's going to be an interesting thing to watch. I mean, new ownership, but like he's obviously got the team playing. They may have a franchise quarterback the way this guy's starting to play.
They didn't quit on him.
Yeah, no, exactly. So I don't know. All right, game-winning field goal walk-off number 6 was Monday night, and this was in spectacular fashion.
Oh my god!
The Broncos won.
Sorry, Tony.
The Broncos won 24-22 at the Bills, and this game was just the Bills are just like. I think I didn't see it getting this bad, but we talked about it like a few podcasts ago. Josh Allen is still making really stupid mistakes that he used to make and get away with because he would come back in the fourth quarter and run people over. And they have too many injuries on defense. So like all of that came to fruition in this game. They had 4 turnovers. They did not look like they were even there was no energy to them, even though they were playing at home and they know they have to win. Josh Allen threw for 177 yards. He had 2 ugly interceptions.
They had 4 turnovers total.
Yeah, they had 4 turnovers total. And the Broncos just kind of stuck around. Russell Wilson, who I admittedly gave up on like 2 years ago, actually looked a little bit like the Russell Wilson of old. Like he made like that one touchdown throw. It was like classic Russell Wilson. He scrambled around and threw it up, and it was a great catch by Cortland Sutton. But like. The Bills are like they are the 10 seed right now in the AFC.
Would they make if the playoffs started today? Would they make it?
No, they're the 10 seed, and on top of that, their conference record is something like 1-4 or something like. So they're like they have a big hole to climb out.
Like that'll be a shit show. Like so someone had to pay the price, right? So they fired Dorsey today, the offensive coordinator.
Right.
Like I don't know if Dorsey was responsible for having 12 guys on the field.
Exactly. So the game-winning field goal, the Will Lutz actually for the Broncos actually missed, but
Will Lutz, that's Lutz. Is he part of the potato chip?
I don't know.
Empire? Like there's Lutz, or maybe they're Utz.
I don't know.
He probably put the L, make it Lutz, just so he didn't get
confused. Exactly.
He wanted to be taken seriously as a kicker and not a sour cream and onion potato chip guy.
Anyway, he missed it, but it turned out there was 12 men on the field, and they kicked it to win it in a walk-off.
He missed it, and he also doinked.
Yeah, he doinked. Yeah.
He doinked an extra point.
Right. The kicking game wasn't even solid, and they still beat the Bills.
Right. So there's a couple things with that game, and I'll always admit my mistakes because I've made plenty of them. After that Miami game, I shit all over Sean Payton.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're playing well. They gave up 70 to Miami, and since then their defense has totally turned it around.
Yeah.
So that's on the coaching staff.
Their defense actually is playing well.
Russell played great last night, I thought.
Yeah.
And compare and contrast. Twice they ran like that fucking fire drill. Let's run the field. Like, we're not going to spike the ball. We can't spike the ball. Let's just run the field goal team on.
Right.
And they got it, and there was, like, plenty of time to kick the field goal compared to Nate Hackett last year in the first game, right? When they
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And here's the interesting thing. Look at it. Look at Mad Dog's glasses. Everybody, show the glasses. So remember 2 years ago, Sean Payton had the same kind of.
He did.
He had the exact same when he was, or maybe it was 3 years ago in New Orleans. And I was like, check out Sean Payton with like the fucking peepers, right? And watching most of that game last night, where he had the poster board with his play sheet,
Yes.
right? I was like, man, he should put those fucking peepers on like Maddog has. And fourth quarter rolls around, he had them on. I was like, fucking dude went to Warby Parker at halftime, and he said, give me the express, cut those lenses quick, and bring them to the stadium.
Oh, man. All right, so that's the end of the
But here's one thing I'm tired. I got to say this. All due respect, Tony. Every game, you got to hear about the fucking Bills Mafia and how the fucking they're the greatest fan base in the world. Every fan base gets loaded in the parking lot before an NFL game. All right, listen, it's not just them.
If you want me to give you like everyone asks me, like, why aren't you a Bills fan? Like, because they're bandwagon fans. I hate to say that. They always have been. They always will be. They're like 2 weeks ago, they were all saying, like, we got to fire everybody. I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, what are you talking about? Now maybe it has a little bit more credence, but
right.
But like, I'm like, come on, and like, and the window's closing. You have a 20. Listen, he's fucking up right now, but you have a 27-year-old quarterback who can fucking throw the ball better than anyone's ever thrown the football.
Yeah, like he got like that. Who's the receiver he threw that? Like he got the pick.
Yeah, exactly. So that was
like I think
because he threw it too hard.
I think it was like, yeah, it probably had a little heat on it, but he's like, you got to catch that.
Yeah, definitely.
You catch those balls all week in practice, exactly. Like in practice all week.
They literally have jugs throwing balls at them 100 miles an hour. Why can't they catch that?
Like they can catch a tennis ball at a fucking 150 miles an hour.
Exactly. All right, so let's go to not game walk-offs, but a lot of these came down to the last play of the game.
Okay.
Excuse me, one score games, and I'll talk about one that was near and dear to my heart. The house divided game.
We're from the town with the great football team. Rocky and Franco are all on the scene. We cheer the Pittsburgh Steelers.
So the Packers traveled to the Steelers. The Packers lost 27-19.
Did Leslie make you sleep on the couch? I
No, we're good. We're good. We both know our teams.
No one really
suck.
give a shit.
Both our teams suck, but like somehow with smoke and mirrors, we're miraculously 6-3.
Like that's fucking crazy. They like literally, they don't move the ball.
Dude, so all right, so here's like I always remember this. Like Bill Cowher way back when some press conference said, all you need to do is look at the box score and see who won on third down. So this game is like, again, this is how miraculously the Steelers are winning. I'm throwing fourth down in it. The Packers were 10 of 18 on third and fourth down conversions, which is insane. The Steelers are 5 for 14. So they had no business winning this game. 0. They got outgained again. They haven't outgained anyone all season.
They may be the only 6-3 team in the history of the NFL that has a negative point differential.
Yeah, no, seriously,
right? Like overall.
Yeah, no, it's not sustainable, but they keep doing it. So I don't know. They did get the running game going. That had a lot to do with starting their first round draft pick, Broderick Jones at right tackle.
You're getting heavy into the fucking analysis right now. Broderick Jones, where's he out of?
Georgia.
Oh, Georgia Bulldogs.
And they had 0 turnovers. So I guess that's the recipe. And like let Kenny Pickett like not do anything. But literally, they had to scatter. You know, you see those scattergrams about like where the complete passes where the incomplete passes went. The entire middle.
Nothing was over 5 yards.
The entire middle of the field. They never threw a ball in the middle of the field. Never threw a ball
right
between the hash marks. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So, and this one we didn't talk about. The last play of the game, Jordan Love, who should, I watch him a lot this year. He shows flashes, but then he does do some stupid things. This wasn't a stupid thing. The last play of the game, like
it was just great Steelers defense.
Yeah, he had to throw the ball anyway. Damian Kazee intercepts a pass.
What was his name? Damian Kazee.
Kazee, yeah, Kazee.
Is he related to Gazoo from fucking the Jetsons?
Maybe. That's the Flintstones, by the way. But anyway.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was.
But anyway,
Frantic City.
no,
Frantic City.
I think you have to call your brother because he ran out of bounds and like there was a cheap shot, fucking bullshit by one of the Packers players, and he knocked this guy out of bounds, and it ran right into Danny Smith.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, and like
Oh, shit. Okay.
literally like murdered Danny Smith. I'm like,
Did Danny Smith go down?
oh yeah.
Did he choke on his gum or did he spit it out?
I don't know.
He's got that big wad.
I don't know.
He's got that big.
I've not heard any reports. I haven't heard anything about it since then. But you have to go check the video. He got murdered.
All right, I will look for that. I'll make a call to the Burke. I gotta say, hey, what was Tomlin's quote? Make the routine things routine.
Yeah.
Right. Like credit to him that they're 6-3. I mean that.
Yeah, listen, he's doing it with
smoke and mirrors.
Yeah. So listen, if they have the Browns next week and the Bengals, if they can.
So if
they can go 1-1 in those, who knows? They're 7-4.
I had 2 notes on them. That Pickett has kind of has a Dimes feel to him, to me when I watch them.
Yeah.
Like he makes some plays.
I take any time at this point.
And then the other one, I didn't realize, and I usually pay attention to the Steelers special teams.
Yeah.
But the punter, Presley Harvin III.
Yeah.
Like, where did he learn to punt? On Gilligan's Island?
Why?
Doesn't that sound like a Gilligan's Island name?
It does. Exactly.
Like Thurston Howell, Presley Harvin III.
He took a 3-hour cruise. He came back a punter.
And he was banging Ginger.
All right. So
Steelers good 6-3.
I know. It's listen. I'm thrilled they're 6-3. It's hard to get excited about the way they're playing. But listen, if the offense, it's not even their defense sucks too. It's like amazing that they're winning a game.
Right, but they got injuries, right? Fitzpatrick's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, everyone has injuries, and then they lost another inside linebacker. They're literally like. They should be checking Vaughn's for inside linebackers at this point.
Yeah, maybe Matthew Barkley, because he's not going to play for the Giants. They're going to stick with apparently they're sticking with DeVito.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, what is this? Fucking It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? I mean, is he banging that funny blonde chick on that show?
All right, let's move on, man. We're going to run out of time. All right. So,
but do we have a limit?
Well, our battery is limited.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Saints 19 at the Vikings 27. My new favorite nickname, and I can't even attribute this to Boomer, but someone came up with Pastronaut for Josh Dobbs because he literally is.
Yeah, I heard that.
He literally is a rocket scientist. He spent some time at NASA. NASA put up a Instagram or Twitter or whatever the fuck it is post with him is in a astronaut suit and said go Pastronaut or whatever. So anyway, all that said, this guy had one of the best halves that anyone's had in the NFL this year. He threw for 220 yards in the first half. He ran for a touchdown and actually showed like the moves he made were like Michael Vick moves. I'm like, I didn't think this guy could fucking run.
As I used to say in the old days, he showed some moxie.
Exactly. And they took a 24-3 lead. And then third quarter starts, Derek Carr gets injured. So you're like, all right.
There we go. You texted. You sent the text to me and Pop.
Exactly.
Looks like we got a Jameis party. And we sure did. How did he play it? When did Carr go out?
Like third quarter. Like I think maybe first possession third quarter.
Jameis played a half.
Right.
2 TDs, 2 picks.
It's like clockwork. I love him, man.
He's the man. Nothing. He's like he was the 30 for 30 guy, right? 30 touchdowns, 30 picks.
Exactly. So anyway, that was fun to watch. And literally, he did bring him back, and then he, of course, gave the game away
right
at the end. But all right,
Dobbs is one of the better stories of the year, and so is like the coach McConnell. Like that.
Yeah, I mean the Vikings are in the playoffs.
Yeah,
and
they can win that division.
I mean,
Detroit's probably going to win it.
Catch Detroit, but like, there's no reason to believe they couldn't be the second or third wild card. Who else is going to step into that role? I mean, their competition is I mean, think about it, the Commanders and the Seahawks, but there's 3 spots, so they're going to get in.
You are correct, sir. Giants is really swell. It's a little pill with a big story to tell. fucking know who's in charge of fucking selling that ad space. Because I could fucking do it if that's what they came up with.
All right, so from the kind of exciting Jameis party to the boring games of the weekend. All right, so first one up again. All these are one-score games. The Jets 12 at the Raiders 16. This game was ugly, ugly, ugly. So, like, I complain about my offense, you complain about your offense, but the Jets,
I don't even complain about my own. Like, there's nothing to complain about. It's so bad. They're going to get JV team. Like, there's nothing to complain about.
But they have scored a touchdown in their last 36 drives. The Jets have not scored a touchdown in 36 consecutive drives.
That's fucking crazy. And they're not going to change the quarterback.
That's not even possible. I mean, honestly. And I was watching this game, and it's not all Zach Wilson. Like they just like they shoot themselves in the foot every single time. I mean,
they need to pull a rabbit out of their head.
I mean, they'll drive the ball, and then they'll be in the red zone, and then there'll be 2 fucking holding penalties, and be 3rd and fucking 30, and they kick a field goal. Like, it's just fucking amazing. And you know what? I got to give Antonio Pierce, your boy,
AP,
some credit. Like he just, like, first of all, there's energy when a new coach comes in, so we kind of
that's usually a first week thing, and then it kind of fades.
So
right?
I kind of wrote off last we's win, but like, you know what, he had a real game.
Well, you wrote off last week's win because they played the Giants,
but he had a real game, like his simple game plan. Like, it's like, all right, let's put it in the hands of our playmakers. Let's get the ball to Devontae Adams. Let's get Josh Jacobs going, and like that's all it was.
Right.
I mean, and it works.
So what's the name of the quarterback? O'Connell?
Yeah.
Like Jerry O'Connell. Is he related to Jerry O'Connell, the actor?
I don't know.
But tell me this. If you, like, when he's on the field, right?
Yeah.
He's got his helmet on, chin strapped up. He's got his stash.
Yeah.
And if you look real quickly, he looks like fucking Derek Carr's doppelganger.
He does. You're right. He's wearing the same fucking number. Too.
Right. Like, literally, I'm like, fucking, hey, wait, hey, Saints bailed their car already?
All right, so that game was ugly. Another ugly game.
Well, I got 2 things I want to say about Vegas.
You got to stop me.
Okay, the Raiders. Perfect. I think I probably said this on a podcast before. Perfect town to have a fake flame.
A fake what?
Flame. Like, they got that fake flame.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, the whole town's fucking fake. And remember earlier I said I wanted to talk about Mark Davis and that cut?
Yeah.
The haircut again?
Yeah.
Here's what I want to see. And this would be better than the Jardiance is really swell commercial. Remember, like, the Troy Polamalu, Patrick Mahomes Head and Shoulders?
Yeah.
Always working. Like, at the car wash, always working.
Yeah.
So I want Polamalu in the same role and Mark Davis to fill in for fucking Patrick Mahomes.
Now that would be fucking funny.
That would be great, right?
That would be great.
I'll tell you what, if the Raiders win the Super Bowl, top patches, I'm going to get a fucking bowl cut like I did in the 7th grade.
Yeah, well, that ain't going to happen.
And I could, I'm not really going out on a limb.
All right. Other ugly games of the weekend, but also one-score game weekend, one-score games. Panthers 13 at the Bears 16. This was way back on Thursday.
This was.
And this is the only thing to say about this game. Justin Fields didn't play. Tyler Banshett didn't end up to win. Bryce Young is still not looking like a number 1 pick yet. But
how bummed are the Panthers? Like, they're like, fuck, we could have either one of them.
Exactly. But relevant to you, they beat the Panthers, and they had the Panthers first pick, so they have they almost couldn't lose in terms of draft order, except for if they lost, it would have been worse. You know what I mean? Because then you guys would have pulled.
Yeah, because then the Panthers would have 2 wins because the Bears have their number 1. They have the number 1 pick. Like, if the draft started, if it was today, the Bears would have the first pick.
Yeah. So anyway, that's your competition, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
I might go buy a Panthers jersey, like all in on Frank Reich, fucking Cardinals jersey. I'll change my jersey every fucking window on Sunday.
And then the last game that was a one-score game over the weekend was the Colts, quote unquote, at the Pats. It was
this was in
this is in Frankfurt,
right?
So it's like, if you're like don't know anything about the NFL, and you like go and you see the Dolphins and the Chiefs play one week, and then the next week you go see the Colts and the Patriots play. Like you're like, what the fuck?
They don't give a shit. They're there singing "Sweet Caroline."
Exactly.
What I love about those European games is that every jersey of every NFL team is represented when they show the crowd shots.
Exactly. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Like I saw like 12 fucking dudes in Seahawks jerseys fucking jumping up and down like they just won the Super Bowl. Who won that game? Oh, the Colts.
The Colts won this game, and the only we should spend a little bit more time on this game because it was ugly. But Mac Jones had in the fourth quarter had a wide open. I forget who it was. I think it was his tight end, but had a wide open guy, and he had like no pressure on him, and like kind of like threw it off his back foot, like
a little too much air,
not air, and like 5 yards short when the guy was wide open. So that ended the drive. The Patriots get the ball back, and Belichick sat Mac Jones on the bench and put in Bailey Zappi or whatever his name is to like do the 2-minute drill. And poor Bailey Zappi was like, I haven't taken a rep with the first team in like fucking 3 years.
Like I run the scout team, I was just picking my ass. There's a minute 40 left in the game. Like, so it's amazing because that game started 6:30 for us.
Yeah.
And so it's good for Insomniac Theater. That game,
right.
Like, I don't know how much of that game I was asleep for, right? But I did get up and turn it on as they kicked off. But I can't even believe I was able to write a note. I wrote, New England puts in Zappi with a minute 40 left in a 10-6 game? Question mark.
So that, like, you know, I can't imagine they'll fire him during the season, but there's no way he's the coach of the Patriots next year, especially if they like have, you know, I know that's another competition to you, like especially if they are drafting one.
Well, they're going to beat us. We play them.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll get Belichick closer to that Shula record.
Can't wait for that. That's on Thanksgiving, by the way.
No, it's not, is it?
Yeah, I swear to God it is.
But Thanksgiving's next week.
Exactly.
That's not fucking on Thanksgiving.
Oh, all right. Maybe I'm wrong. I literally thought they played them on Thanksgiving, but I could be. I could be wrong.
Don't the Jets play on Black Friday?
Probably. Can't even keep up with the fucking games now. All right. So 2 other games. One we can talk about. The other, who cares? But the 49ers beat up on the Jags in Jacksonville, 36-3. And we talked about it last week. I'm like, I'm not really worried about the 49ers offense. Like they once they get Deebo Samuel and the whole thing, I think runs through him. Once they get him back, it'll all open up. And of course it did.
Right.
And they went back to their dominant self. And the Chase Young acquisition is like paying dividends big time, man.
He's hanging with his boy Bosa. They both played. They were both Buckeyes.
In all seriousness, their defense, they never blitz. Their defense is all about creating pressure with four guys, and they weren't doing it this year. And now with Chase Young, all four of those guys had at least a half sack.
But that Christian McCaffrey, he sucks. He didn't score a touchdown.
Exactly.
I loved him at his press conference. He's like, I suck. Everyone else in the team scored a touchdown except me.
But did you see the last drive?
Like they tried, like, and that was one of those things where you could look at it if you're on the other sideline and be like, "Hey, what the fuck?"
Yeah, but you know what? I think it's.
But him going for the record.
Yeah, I think it was legitimate. I didn't. I mean, I'm not playing for Jacksonville, but like and Jacksonville stepped up.
Yeah,
they stopped it. So.
Yeah,
but it was amazing. They handed the ball off to him twice. They threw the ball to him twice to try to
and they didn't score. And Prince Harry didn't look so great in that game, right? And so so the one thing about the Niners and that game, 2 years ago on the NFL Network, Playmaker was going off on Debo, and he was like, Debo, oh. And I didn't know was this a chant at the stadium? And I forget what post-game show I was watching.
Yeah.
It might have been
Boomer.
Boomer and Booger. Let's slow it down. But what they're referring to is it's not Debo, it's Boz Scaggs. Lido, whoa, he's for the time, he's for the show. Lido, go.
That's awesome. And the only other game we have not covered is the Titans 6 at the Bucks 20.
Nobody watched that game.
Yeah,
Even they could have fucking run that Jardiance commercial every fucking time out, and
they
nobody
would've-
was tuning into
the
that.
CPM on that would have been through the roof.
Yeah, like that's fucking like there was no you streaming AI. There'd be another fucking SAG strike with the eyeballs on that game.
But Baker, showed up again. I don't know.
Yeah, what's their record?
I think everyone in that division
Is tied
outside of Carolina is 4-5. I'm pretty sure.
Like I don't even know who's their coach. Is it Bowles?
Yeah, Todd
Todd
Bowles.
Bowles?
Yeah, and again another defensive guru whose team can't stop anyone. This game they actually stopped somebody, but
well, it's Carolina. But I'm rooting for them. They better fucking win a couple games.
So that's all we got.
That's
man.
it.
That's all we got.
Let me see if I missed anything because I know I had some really insightful shit. No, that's probably it. Other than Jardia, like we should get sponsored, but like that's gonna be our first sponsor.
Yes, like
we're gonna reach out. Like we're gonna be like fucking.
We'll pay you. We'll pay you to sponsor us.
We're gonna be the podcast of Big Pharma.
I love it.
Right, we're gonna be pushing vaccines on this show, and we'll have that.
We'll
have that hot chick.
Oxycontin.
Right, like we get Michael Keaton in here. But we'll get that beautiful lady that knows how to dance on the fountain. Like we'll get her as a guest one time.
Yes, exactly.
And we'll open the show every week with Jardiance is really swell. All right, I beat that fucking horse, didn't I?
So next week, he doesn't even know this yet, but we will have a guest on there to talk about the Raiders. I think.
Yeah, I talk about everything. Cause Mad Pup's got insight. Yeah, so you don't know it, Pup, but you're a major part of this deal. I may not show up. Like if I hit traffic again like I did tonight, I'll be like, let's just let the Carey brothers do it.
Might be Mike's worst nightmare. All right, guys. Happy holidays. I'll say that early.
Yeah, you're a little early, right?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna. You know what? The weird thing is, like Black Friday. Since when did Black Friday deals start before Halloween?
And again, that's what I was. It seems like for 2 weeks I've been seeing Black Friday, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Exactly.
Like Amazon runs Black Friday every Friday.
Exactly.
There's 52 Black Fridays.
Exactly. I'm serious.
Bezos got to pay for that fake rack on his new fiance. Every fucking Friday's Black Friday. So we're gonna do the podcast Tuesday, then Wednesday night, as Jackie Martin used to say on Howard Stern show, wildest night of the year, night before Thanksgiving, we're going out and get loaded.
The biggest drinking day of the year, man.
I remember one time the night before Thanksgiving. It was epic.
It was epic.
Thanksgiving was a little slow.
Just a little
out in the desert.
That is a story.
Everyone had a couple sinus infections, quote unquote.
That is a story for another day.
Yeah, that'll be in the book that sums up the show. All right, I think we're done, right?
Yeah.
How many minutes?
We'll see you guys next week. Bye. All right, man, we nailed that one too.
I think that was good, right? Yeah, don't you think?
Yeah, we fucking nailed it. Are you kidding? Seriously, we fucking nailed it.
And we had a good, I think the mics are good.
Yeah, no.
Because when I listened to it last week, when I turned it on, I was in the car, I was like, fuck, I can't even hear myself.
I kind of noticed that, but I thought...
And it was when I looked today, it was, yeah, whatever.
I thought it would figure it out or whatever.
Jardiance is really swell. I'm not letting that one go. Jardiance is really swell. Big story to tell. Oh, Jardiance is really swell. Oh, Johnny. So, dude, I don't even think we need another adapter for the like. The horse might be our mascot, like because it works.
Yeah, it does work.
That fucking commercial drives me fucking crazy.
Dude, it's so funny. Like, you got to tell us that because we had the same fucking reaction. We're like, are you fucking kidding me?
I was like, this is a fucking NFL game.
Let's see if I can pull this up.
She's going to like, oh, you gotta like, I forget about that. I'm gonna leave these.
That's just that one.
Julian. Okay. Don't fuck up our ring light, man.
I'm not going to.
You know we need that.
There we go.
And then you gotta then pull that like the base, pull it back to the like like the stick kind of thing. If you pull it all the way to the back.
Oh, I see. Jesus. I'm gonna let you do that before I fucking break it.
Oh man, if you break it, we're fucking sunk.
I'll just
Get kicked off YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I got it.
you got
I
it.
got it. I got it. I didn't even use my iPad.
Dude, how efficient have we become?
Pretty efficient.
So what I will do tonight, dude, it's like so tomorrow's Wednesday, right?
Yeah,
So by Wednesday night I'll have and I hear you, like I'll look for, not just my snippets.
No, it's
but
fine.
I'll read that thing again.
I was just gonna go look. I'm just gonna listen to like the last 4, to be honest.
Okay,
because that has good sound on it too,
Yeah, that's true.
But you can go you can go back as far as you want. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, but so I get your division of labor comment. So do you want me to do you want to take the first crack at like the edit thing?
Yeah, I will. I'll edit the script. And I think like I'll edit her show description too, which I thought was pretty good, but I had a couple.
All right, then you want to just forget about like you want to just give me the snippet shit to do?
No, I can.
You don't trust me?
No, I do. Go ahead. Yeah, seriously, do it.
Like so, that's less for you. Like if you're gonna edit all that shit.
That won't take me that long, but I'll start with that. I'll tell you when I'll shoot you that, and then so I sprung that on you, but like, what do you think of NFL review as opposed to NFL wrap up show?